Everybody should have the injury report. Had a good workout today. Getting ready for the 49ers. We'll open it up for questions.
How about if you guys missed game away and how did you?
I thought he looked good today. I think anytime you have a starter out, it can be problematic, but the rest of the players have to carry the load. But it'd be good to potentially have him back this week.
What do you see from the 49ers?
Well, I think, you see a team that, again, just getting started. I think they've made a change at quarterback. We're kind of looking at him a little bit more in depth. We saw him last year, both in practice and in a preseason game, as well as, from the New England film and a little bit at the end of this past game. See a really good running back in Carlos Hyde. I think they've had an influx of offensive linemen in there. I thought Beathard played pretty good for them once they made that change. Looks like they're making another change. They've got real speedy guys at wide receiver, and particularly a good one. Defensively, I think they're talented up front. They've got some first-round picks up there. So that's kind of how I see them, right now, kind of a rough draft of them.
John, during that week in Foxborough last year, what types of things left an impression on you about Garoppolo?
I think in that setting, you get to mingle with him some. I think, he's was held in high regard there amongst their coaches and amongst their organization. There's been, trade talks, for some time since that time. Obviously, San Francisco pulled the trigger on it. But real positive things, and from ability-wise, he's an accurate passer. He's got decent mobility. And he's a smart guy. I think to play in that offense and be exposed and, be around Tom for any length of time, I think, he's got a good background in the league.
Was he on your radar after last season ended, knowing he was going into the final year of his contract in New England?
I think, anybody that's got somewhat potential is always on the radar. We're always looking to improve. So, nothing probably above anybody else in the league, but, we look at players is what we do.
What do you remember about Solomon Thomas from the pre-draft process when you guys met with him?
We met with him, really liked him, great young guy, really well thought of, good teammate, intelligent. He had good bursts off the edge, he had good speed to track, players down, as a big guy. But, we thought very, very highly of him.
Is there any way to kind of predict or anticipate what a Garoppolo offense with San Francisco will be as compared to Beathard or any other quarterback?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to reinvent the wheel, in a week. I'm sure, they've just been trying to get him up to speed in their offense, their terminology. It is different, kind of knowing both offensive pedigrees. I think, I don't know where he is in that development, other than I know he's smart. We kind of expect what they've been doing, and nothing too far off of that radar.
In that regard, do you consider it an advantage or an opportunity for you defensively against a player making his first start for a team?
That's hard to predict. I just know that that's a choice they've made, so, we've got to adjust to it.
Trevor Bride played a lot last week. What went into your decision to release him the other day?
I think, just kind of churning the roster. We've got a roster spot available. We don't know exactly what we're doing with it yet. We have some options. When we make that move, we'll let you guys know. Just change up, play some other guys. We get Josh Bellamy back, who missed last week, I think is a big factor as well.
Those of us who were on Monday, we heard the argument in the hallway. Was he involved with that, and did that also play into the decision of letting McBride go?
I don't know what's heard or not heard. I didn't hear it, but I can just say that happens on the sideline. That happens in meetings. That happens all the time. I just think that room is closer to y'all than I probably would have designed. But I think that's par for the course in football. It's not the first argument I've ever experienced.
Was he involved in it,
Again, I don't get into that. That's stuff that we do behind those walls. That's why the walls are there.
John, do you see a bit of your own team reflected in this 49ers group, just the stages where you're at in rebuilding?
That's hard to say. I think there's some comparables. Obviously a young quarterback. They've played a couple of them. They brought in Hoyer earlier, who we were familiar with, and then went to CJ, and then now to Garoppolo. So from that standpoint, a little bit, yeah, I'd say yes. It's good. All right, thank you.
No, that's off the record. Obviously excited to get started this week with preparation for San Francisco after not playing well enough to beat a good opponent last week. Was disappointed with the way we played, the way we started. The way this offense is built and the way this team is built, we're not going to win running the football the way we did last week. We were poor up front, and too many missed opportunities to throw uncontested throws outside, which goes back to a number of different things, which includes timing, depth of route, protecting the quarterback, and so with that, we watched the tape. We were hard on the guys. It's a really hard day after you lose a game the way we did lose that game, and to just put it behind us, correct what we needed to, and get started for this week.
How would you assess Mitchell's game?
I think that there were some good things that he did. Thought that he improved in some ways. The thing that was most disappointing for me in the passing game is the uncontested outside the number throws, and a lot of that was, to be completely honest, a lot of it wasn't on him. When it's depth, when you got to run a 10-yard route and you run it at 8, and it's going to look bad, and it's going to look like the ball's spraying and it's inaccurate. But if he was going with the right spot with the ball. The turnovers were, we got to eliminate those things, and just when you're not running the football and doing the things we need to do up front, all the pressure is going to fall on him, and we got to keep working hard to get some of this timing down in the passing game.
You talked last week about celebrating the small victories. At some point, I assume he's got to have wins. Mm-hmm. As you guys look at this final stretch here, Niners, that record being what it is, how important is it for you for him to get validation of some of these processes that he's going through?
Yeah, we're really looking at this as 1 week at a time, and we need to put together a good plan this week and continue to have good practices. And we need to go out and be sharp and win this game. I mean, it's a game that we're capable of winning. It's a game they're capable of winning. This is a good football team. I think we're a good football team. Obviously, our record doesn't show that, and we're disappointed in that. But really, the most important thing is now these 2 hours we had to just got off the field practicing, and we just got to keep improving that way. And hopefully, as we play better around him, then the wins will come.
Were there some issues with Mitchell's footwork, though, on Sunday that you saw in the film?
There were a couple things. He got caught bouncing a little bit. It was a tendency he had in college. We talked to him a lot about keeping his shoulders and head still. And he did get hoppy a little bit, and there were some throws that were errant because of that, and something we're going to keep working and grinding on that way.
Is that the product? Sometimes when a quarterback is under duress as much as Mitchell was, that he does maybe revert to some of the college things. Is that something that can happen there?
It can happen. I'm not saying that's why. I don't really feel like that we need to give him an excuse on that. He needs to, it's just a grind of doing it every day and keep working at it. And, the good thing is it gives him something to work really hard at this week. And he knows it's a problem. He knows when he comes to the sideline, if he ever misses a throw because he's an accurate guy, why it happened. Or, so and just, make sure that we continue to work on that through that process.
You didn't have a whole lot of outside zone runs, especially in the first half. Was that the way it developed?
It was really the way they play. They play a wide 9. They box everything inside. The thing was where we knew going into that game that we were going to have to be good is our designer runs. We had a couple traps and whams and those things to affect their 3 techniques that we didn't execute. And we had a holding call on one that bumped us, or a block in the back that bumped us back, and we're on the 42-yard line. Mitchell did a really good job getting us back in the field goal. Unfortunately, in field goal range, we missed the field goal. Had a chance to be 7-3 and maybe get some momentum going right there because it's a big-time throw and good route. But, you put yourself in that situation versus that defense, they feed off that. And they play that wide 9. They box everything in. So our plan was we'll run the ball inside. We'll hit them with some whams, trap the 3 technique, do some of those things. And we didn't do a good enough job executing it.
Donald, in your experience, when a quarterback does get hoppy or have some mechanical issues, is that something that can be a quick fix and just through a week of practice, or does that take more time?
I think it's a process. It's an ongoing process. It's, when obviously him acknowledging that he's doing it is a big, big step to fixing it. But when you get in the heat of the game, like it's all the time and all the work that you've done in the off season, at practice, that it becomes muscle memory instead of thinking about those things. And sometimes in a game when it's going like that, you have to go back to the fundamentals and, hey, go get a completion right here. Think about your footwork. Make sure you're going through the right progression. Make sure your eyes are on the right spot. And, so those things we can help him in game, and it's going to be a process on just continue to work through it.
Now, were you involved when you guys, the organization was looking at quarterbacks, were you involved in any evaluations of Jimmy Garoppolo?
Sir?
Were you involved in any evaluations of Jimmy Garoppolo when you guys were talking about quarterbacks earlier?
Yes, sir. When I was in Cleveland, we definitely evaluated Jimmy hard. It's a guy that obviously I was with Coach Shanahan there, and he was a coordinator. I was a quarterback coach, and Jimmy was a guy that we had a lot of respect for, graded very high. It didn't surprise me that Kyle traded for him and to get him in the organization because I know how he felt about him as well. And think he has a chance to be a really good player.
Did you look at him as possibly for the Bears?
I'm not. I don't want to get into that. I did evaluate him coming out though.
What did you see in particular? What piqued your interest in him at that time in the draft process about Garoppolo?
Loved his demeanor. Guy that was a really intelligent guy, quick processor, quick-witted, had compact release, could get it out quick, was accurate. Played in, at the time I was in Cleveland, and then played in weather conditions, so that was also a plus that way.
What were your overall impressions of Trey during his time here?
Trey McBride, guy that did a good job filling in, and had a couple designer plays against New Orleans that were able to get him open. I think he has a chance to play in the NFL if he needs to keep getting better and keep working every day, and I hope that he gets another shot at it.
Understanding why he's no longer here.
General manager makes those decisions, and the head coach, not myself.
Anything else? All right, thanks everybody.
you ever had 4 straight losing games in any sport you played?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
How do you adjust to this? I mean, is there a temptation to try to do too much?
You don't adjust. You don't get used to it. You just find a way to get back in the win column. So, I mean, you definitely don't get used to losing. You just hate it, and you just find a way to win. So, we had a really good practice today. Really good practice. I'm happy about that. So, our preparation for this week is going well, and we're just gonna have to find a way to get a win this week. And yeah, but there's no getting used to it. There's no being content. We just gotta work harder, stick together, and find a way to win this Sunday.
Rather than not get used to it so much as is there a tendency to overreact, to try to do too much to stop it?
I wouldn't say overreact either, but you have to react definitely. If there's no reaction, then that's a bad thing for sure. So we just gotta change a couple things, change our attitude, continue to stick together, work harder, and play better on Sundays to get a different result, and that's a win.
We hear you guys talk about real honest, self-critical evaluations in situations like this. What did you take away from your evaluation of the Eagles game?
Yeah, I had bad footwork in the game, and usually that leads to bad accuracy and then timing. So a lot of those throws in the game are throws that I make, and I throw on time. And because of bad footwork and bad timing, it caused a couple throws to be off. And so, yeah, it's just me and the receivers getting back on the same page, really grooving our timing, me getting my footwork down, and just doing exactly what I'm coached to do. So that'll make for better results this Sunday.
What did you identify as the reason why the footwork maybe wasn't where you wanted it to be?
Just not doing what I was coached to do. Overthinking or not being focused. Just not doing the right footwork. There might not be no particular reason. It's just some plays I did the perfect footwork, and other times it was off by a step. Other times it was a bucket step where I'm not in line. Other times I'm fading in the pocket, moving when I don't need to move because of the rush. And sometimes you feel those kind of things as a quarterback, but you just got to fix them, and it will.
How much extra time do you devote to getting that down where it's repetition?
Yeah, definitely set aside some time this week, stay after practice, get out there earlier, work with my coach, and get the footwork down because it's got to get fixed for sure.
How much of an opportunity did you have on Sunday to watch the Eagles and what you thought of Carson and how they run their offense and takeaways from that?
Not really much at all. I just focused on what we got to do as an offense. Didn't get to see much.
Sorry. What do you see in San Francisco?
They're a good defense. We got to come ready to play. We're really just focused on us this week. So they do what they do it well, and so we just got to go back to what we do well. So we got to run the ball. We got to control the line of scrimmage, and we got to be better on third down. And we got to put points on the board early, and we just got to be more efficient. We can't have any negative plays. We can't have penalties, move ourselves back. And we just got to come out on all cylinders and play with confidence.
How much interaction did you have with the 49ers before the draft?
A little bit. Had a dinner and a workout with them.
Any sense in how they felt about you being another top 5?
I mean, a lot of the teams were interested, but they kind of all went about it the same way.
Does it stick with you at all that they traded out of the spot where they could have drafted you?
No, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. So I'm happy to be here in Chicago, and this is where I was supposed to be.
Mitch, what are you learning about what it takes from a leader during a tough stretch of the season like losing 4 in a row?
Everyone's looking towards you, so they're all seeing how you react, and I love that because I feel like I know how to handle these situations, and I still have all the confidence in the world in my guys that we could turn this around next week and we could really go on a run. So I'm not worried about it. I just know the way I operate is you got to go back to work, got to get back to the grind, got to focus on the little things. Keep the big picture in mind, but continue to do the little things. Stay focused, stick together, continue to believe in each other. Just buy in and take it one day at a time, and it'll take care of itself. So I feel good about it.
How badly do you need a win? Just, how badly, what would that mean to you guys right now?
I think I mean, the way I go about each week is I need to win in the worst way, no matter what week it is. And that could go for this week as well, especially because we've been on a little losing streak. But as a competitor, you need to win in the worst way. And so this week we really need it.
Mitch, when there's a mistake with your footwork or mechanics, is it something you can feel just by the way you're throwing the ball, or do you have to just see it from the result that it was something wrong?
Sometimes both. Sometimes you could see it on film. Sometimes you could overcompensate with your arm talent and just get it there. But it's not going to help you be consistent. When you have really good footwork and you throw with your lower body, that takes a lot of pressure off your arm and just allows you to be more consistent. So sometimes I get away with it, and I could put the ball where it needs to go, but over time it'll catch up to you, and it won't allow me to be as consistent. And that's where you can see some of the throws I usually make were a little off target. And it's just me and the receivers and the tight ends and the running backs getting on the same page again and trusting the O-line's protection and just having everything go a little more smoothly. And it's going to allow me to be more efficient going forward.
Mitch, what do you remember about Solomon Thomas from the Sun Bowl?
Yeah, he's a really good player. High motor, loves the game, really good dude. Got to know him pretty well throughout the draft process as well. So I really enjoyed competing against him, and he plays the game the right way. So he's a really good dude. Looking forward to seeing him this Sunday.
To your point about sticking together, you mentioned a couple times. What can you do to make sure that happens? And what signs do you look for that it's not happening the right way?
Oh, it is. It's happening the right way. What signs?
Yeah, I mean, as the guy who's out front,
Yeah, for sure.
what are you looking for just to make sure that it's going the way you want it to go?
For me, I'm controlling the controllables, so it's all about how I treat my teammates and what kind of energy I'm bringing to the table. So I'm being positive. I'm making sure my guys know I care about them and that we're moving in the right direction. And they got to know that I'm working my tail off. So whether it's doing extra footwork drills this week or staying extra, watch film even more than last week, they know that I'm buying in even more. I'm working even harder. And they know that I care about this team and my teammates and that we're going to get this thing right. And hopefully that kind of behavior is contagious, and I believe it is. And just being around in the locker room, being around those guys, talking to them one-on-one and just seeing how they feel, we're still positive. We still have good confidence, and that just needs to carry over each day, have really good practices, and go out there and try to get a win on Sunday.
Time for a couple more.
Just I'm asking for our Cleveland station. There's another big game on tap this weekend. They want to know about Mentor. Your brother, are you going to keep a close eye on that, and what do you think their chances are?
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to talk about it too much because the least I talk about it, the better they do. But I got a lot of love from my hometown and what they're doing. They're playing the state final this weekend, and we've been there a couple times, come up short, but it means a lot to me. That they're back there, especially since my little brother's on the team. So I'm pulling for Coach Trevisano and the Mentor Cardinals really hard. I'll be watching really close Friday. I wish if there was a way I could get there, I would definitely be there. But I'm not a prediction guy, but I got a good feeling about this one.
Yeah, one more, Mitch, about the My Cause, My Cleats, that, it keeps things in perspective, like, to be able to focus on something else. Can you just comment a little bit about that and the opportunity to showcase a local artist?
Yeah, My Cause, like my cleats or just in general? Yeah, it's really awesome. One, it allows the local artists to be creative and show their work and just how sports trickles into other facets of life, such as art and these causes and all these other amazing things that people do out there and the charities that really affect other people's lives in a positive way, whether it be, I know the USO, the cancer foundations, the hospitals, the Red Cross, whether it's anything that it's more than just football. We're not just football players. We're not just athletes. We care about making a difference and using our platform to create positive change and affect other people's lives in the community for the better. By using our platform. So My Cause, My Cleats is a really awesome thing that allows us to do that, putting the art and designs on our cleats to help raise money or just to help raise awareness for whatever cause we're doing, and I think it's awesome.
How about your cleats?
Yeah, so mine's the Thumbs Up mission, and one of my best friends in college, Candler Coker, he lost his younger brother to brain cancer, and his family came up with the Thumbs Up mission, which is a awesome foundation that puts on retreats for families who are have dealt with cancer or are currently dealing with that, and they just help create lifelong memories that help overcome cancer and really just give these families something to cherish for the rest of their lives together, because not every family can afford a nice vacation or get together, but this allows people to come together and really face their problems as a group rather than alone. So it's an awesome charity, and you can learn more about it at thumbsupmission.org. So it's really, it means a lot to me.
Anything else?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.